Cinemed Ambulâncias, frota moderna e equipe especializada. Segurança para sua família, proteção para os grandes eventos. Acompanhe o VP no telão de nossa arena. Senhoras e senhores, pedimos a sua atenção neste momento para recebermos as equipes que vão se enfrentar nesse jogo da Basquetebol Champions League Américas. Neste momento vamos receber a equipe do Biguá. Número 1, André Spigert. 3, Nicolas Catala. 5, Juan Docassi. 7, Thiago Rodrigues. 12, Matias Espinosa. 13, Leandro Serminato. 21, Álvaro Paiovic. 22, Frederico Babossi. 30, Juan Belo. 31, Alex Lopes. 35, Vinícius de Oliveira. E número 80, Máximo Grauver. Técnico, Nicolas Mazarino. Neste momento, vamos apresentar a todos vocês a equipe do Quimsa. Número 0, Navarro Miller. 5, Juan Brocino. 10, Fortunato Rolfe. 17, Emiliano Bassami. 18, Augustin Pérez. 19, Bruno Sansimoni. 32, Eduardo Vacirani. 33, Nicolas Romano. 34, Arnold Luiz. 44, Princiali. Número 80, Frederico Zezola. Técnico, Leandro Rabela. Neste momento, convidamos as equipes a se saudarem. Siga tudo o que acontece no campeonato pelo Twitter, Facebook, Instagram e YouTube oficial do torneio, @PCL Américas. Para as últimas notícias, estatísticas e melhores momentos da partida, você pode visitar o site oficial da Basquetebol Champions League Américas.
Welcome into the Basketball Champions League of Americas as we get set to decide who is going to hold the final spot in the final 8 as Biguá takes on Quimsa. You see the starting 5 for Biguá here tonight. Spate, Atalanta, Espinosa, Seminato, rounding out the starting 5. And for Biguá, 1-3 on the tournament so far. And there's their head coach, Coach Mazzarino, as this squad poised and ready to knock off Quimsa, who has been very successful in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. We'll get a second to see their starting 5 in just a moment. As Quimsa now 1-4 on the tournament, but a win here tonight puts them through to the final 8. Here is the starting 5 for Quimsa. And a team in Quimsa who has been known for finishing at least in the Final 4 in this competition. They've only missed the Final 4 one time. Brasino and Ali in the backcourt. 2 point guards and 2 guards that really control the action from start to finish for this team to be successful. There's their head coach, Leandro Ramella, hoping to get his team back into the knockout stage here in the Basketball Champions League of Americas. Well, thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. And Andrew, you've seen these teams play a number of times now at this point. It's do or die time. Let's start with Quimsa. What do they have to do to make sure that they get through to the next round?
Well, Quimsa started off really slow, especially compared to how they were last year. They're missing a few of the teammates, crucial teammates that they had in last year's run. They're going to have to do same old, limit possessions for the other team and get more opportunities themselves. kind of go hand in hand there. Prince Ali is another key factor. We didn't see him in the second window, but he started the last game we saw Quimsa play. Did pretty good, so we'll expect at least the same production out of him. If he can step that up, that's really going to help out his team.
No question about it is Quimsa gets set to play their last game of the group stage here against Biguá. And on the other side, Biguá 1-3 in the tournament. Their one win coming against Quimsa. These two teams have beat each other once so far throughout this tournament. This is going to be the rubber match. But if you're Biguá, what do you look for this squad now to try and pull out a victory and make sure they make the final 8?
Yeah, it's feels like it's been forever since I've seen Biguá play. I would say, again, without Prince Ali originally, I kind of gave them the edge, but sometimes I feel like they play not up to their ability. So if they can just play the kind of game that they're capable of playing, they even gave the number 1 team in this window a couple of pretty good games, Minas. They can win. They just got to kind of stay within themselves, not try to do too much, control the basketball, control the game. That would be my key points for them. Just kind of don't get overexcited.
So before we get things going in this highly anticipated matchup, we'll have a little bit of a delay as one of the goals on the court has been broken in warm-up. So they're going to take their time and try to sort it out before we tip things off here. Very unfamiliar grounds for both these teams. They're playing on the road. This is Minas's home gym. Minas, of course, the 3rd team here in this Group C, and they are undefeated at 5-0 so far. So it looks like we're getting closer to tip as the issue seems to be sorted out. We'll keep our eye on that goal throughout. As the basket, the goal to the left on your screen, had a little bit of issues, but off we go now. Biguá in the blue uniforms, Quimsa in the home white. Winner goes home. Winner, moves on. Loser goes home to the final 8. Tough move inside, and that's vacuumed in. Biguá will start with the first possession of the game for them. Guard play is so important in this tournament. Jump shot left short there by Lopez. Now these 3 is short. Gonna have to get back quickly, trying to block Spate, and Spate gets the first 2 of the night. Attacking drive, and a foul is going to be called. And that will send Quimsa to the line here for 2, as Nicolas Romano will toe the line. Romano is the leading scorer on, second leading scorer on this team. 13 points per game, 4.5 rebounds per contest. Shooting just under 70% from the line as he knocks down both free throws. So Renato on the 45. Step back 2 on the way, off the mark there by Catalana. And a foul in transition as Bersino slowed down with the bump. Espinoza picks up his first. The first bucket of the game there for Spate. And what a pass that is. The outlet pass, just such an underrated pass, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. especially not even just the full court one, but getting a nice crisp outlet to somebody sitting on the wing on the opposite side so they can take off. Speeds up your fast break.
Fresh 14 on this possession now for Quimsa. Porcino turns the corner, gets it inside. Miller draws 4 defenders, and Romano blows the layup. So Donato was in the lane and lost control of the basketball. Here's Prince Ali. Miller. And an easy layup after Federico Zezular able to put 2 through the hoop. Big Z.
Sorry, you're uninitiated. That's the sound I make when he does good stuff.
Thought maybe B had caught a hold of you.
One of my favorite players from last year. He just really not playing, I feel like, as big of a role in this year's team, which I'm kind of surprised by because they're missing some of their, some of the guys that played over him last year are gone this year. We saw Tyvek Galitzi earlier today. He was on this team last year. I believe one of the Boca players that we also saw earlier today was on this team. The name escapes me. I'll figure it out in a moment. So, yeah, he didn't see a ton of minutes, but when he was in, he was almost always good for a block and or a dunk. So it was exciting to see him really runs the floor and defends. So he won me over, as did other players from last year.
Great behind the back pass as Miller gets fouled, and he'll go to the line. Be as good a time as ever if Cezular is able to get back in your good graces with a good game here tonight, as it is win or go home.
Yeah.
So here's
Quimsa last year that we saw really reminded me a lot of what Boca was doing earlier today, running the floor. They got in transition a lot and was able to find a lot of wide open players. Those wide open shots are going to lead to a higher percentage on your shooting. So that's always, higher percentage is always favorable. We talked about that earlier. If I said your key to the game was just to shoot a higher percentage, that could be said for every game.
Yeah, of course, the game you're referencing is Boca defeating Flamengo 96-71 earlier today in group play. Boca shot 60% from the field, 62% from three-point range in the win. So anybody would be happy with those percentages. So if either of these two teams can come out and shoot like that, they could find themselves in the final eight.
And I'll say you're not going to shoot that kind of percentage if you're not getting at least a fair amount of open shots. If the defense is at all hounding you and keeping in your face, there's no way you're shooting 70%. Some of them, once you get a rhythm going from the open shots, you might make some that you wouldn't normally expect to, you would expect those to be more difficult shots. You can kind of get in a flow there, but at some point you're going to have to see some open looks, and the fast break really assists with that because the defense is scrambling. It kind of goes back to what we talked about earlier, was those live ball turnovers compared to a dead ball where the ball has to be inbounded.
So Spade toes the line, knocks down all 3 free throws. 6-5 the score. Biguá, the 1-point deficit. That's Ali for 2, and he knocks it down at the nail. Spade using the screen. Fighting through now, hands it inside. Tello. Good footwork for Tello as he finds 2. Prince Ali using the screen once again. This time he'll try for 3. It's off the mark. And now pulled down. Here comes Biguá back the other way. Marvosi directing traffic. Empty side pick and roll for Tello and Spate. Tello on the block now. And he got pushed. Miller picks up the foul. It's a previous basket by Tello. You see his footwork, Andrew, and somewhat of a lost start, scoring in the block.
The old up and under.
Tough angle layup there, cashed in. And Catalanta now on the score sheet. Only averaging 3.8 points per contest in group play here in the BCLA. Miller leaves that jumper well short. Teller wants it again on the block. Now working on Miller. Fakes the pass, spins away, can't get it to fall. Good offensive rebound. Miller comes up with rejection. Sticking with it is Sermonato, but he couldn't cash out.
I think Tello should have tried to get just a little bit lower on that one. One or two more dribbles into the body of Miller.
Speaking of Miller, he's off the mark on another jumper.
He's got that mid-range in his game.
Certainly does. Hasn't been able to find a touch thus far. Tello tries a three. That's off the mark. And Brasino says, let's slow it down. You can feel the nerves for these two teams. This is a knockout game. Winner will move to the Final Eight. Final Eight is a best of three, so we'll have potentially one home game. Three by Brasino, no good. Barbosi, two-man game with Tello. It's a good cut there by Sermonato, but he's ripped of the basketball behind the back. Second time we've seen that tonight. And the second dime for the behind the back pass for Romano. Spates threes off the mark, and Miller packages it in. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that was the example of Zezilar running the floor, getting that layup. And he ran the floor this time, too. Oh, get him in the post. He's got Spite there. Yeah, that's a mismatch.
Gave it away this time, though. Right into the hands of Barbosi. And everybody touching the ball on that fast break opportunity. You don't often see that. It was cashed out by Tello.
Yeah, good ball movement. That last possession, good on the guard to tell Zezilar. He passed out and he passed it right back in. He said, you got a small guy on you. You got to shoot that. But, yeah, Zezilar afraid to score or something in the post. Go after it.
Hasn't scored a ton this season in group play. He's only averaging 2 points in the last 3 games.
Part of it has to do with minutes. That's what I said. I was relatively surprised. To be clear, last year when I was talking about when he played, maybe we're talking like 10 minutes. But he had pretty good production. He might score 6 or 8 points in that 10 minutes because he'd be a real hustle guy, get a steal, go down, get like a dunk. Once in a while, might shoot a 3. But it seems like maybe he needs to work on his confidence there in the half court. I think he's capable of a little bit more than what he's showing.
Sansimoni knocked that one out of bounds as Barbosi was trying to split the double. Ukasi, his first touch of the rock. De Oliveira, his jump shot is off the mark. Strong rebound there by Ali. Foul as Masabe was hit. So Wasabi at the line again, 9 in the game for his scoring. Less than a point per game this season. And in fact, that was his first free throw of BCLA group stage competition. So game tied at 11. So we approach the 2-minute mark here in the first. Must-win game for both teams. There's an offensive foul and we'll go the other way. San Simone took the worst of
We get a few of those here and there.
Nice pass going to work on the block. But a blown layup. All right. Masirani. That's a great block. Making up for the blown layup on one end is Masirani with the incredible rejection on the other. Now trying to post up in the middle, and the foul is going to be called. Pejovic wanted nothing to do with the big man down low. It's a great rim run. Here's the block. So that foul puts Biguá in the penalty. Free throws the rest of the way here for Quimsa in the first quarter. And Eduardo Vasarani missing his first attempt. 83% free throw shooter so far in the group stage. That was 1 of 2 from the line. It's under 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. It just feels like both teams are really tight to begin this one. Despite one-legged jump shot.
Neither team's home floor, so they don't have a lot of crowd support here. We're on the floor of Minas, as you can easily see there. We saw a couple of their players watching earlier.
Minas 5-0 in group stage. They have one more game remaining. They have locked up the first spot in this Group C.
Yeah, now does that, looking ahead.
Spike on the 45. Ducati driving down the lane. Counted in the foul. Great move by Juan Ducati. And they'll go to the line for one more.
Just trying to see here with that final matchup in Group C being Biguá against the home Minas. Just trying to see what, so Quimsa can seal the deal here tonight, obviously, if they win and get in. Minas is in, and Minas is the top team. No way to catch them. Because even if Biguá won...
Game. Biguá wins this one, they'll be in. Quimsa wins this one, they'll be in. This is the third game between these two teams. Both of them split the first two. And we'll come down to this tiebreaker here to see who's the final team to move on to the final 8 here in the Basketball Champions League Americas. Strong foul there. That didn't look good the way that San Simone went down. Oof, like got caught underneath him.
Good thing it's flexible.
A little bit of yoga, maybe.
Is my math off? I feel like Biguá still has a chance. Now, I think it would, if they beat Minas, if they lose today but beat Minas, I do think it would come down to a score or a point differential.
Well, it's head-to-head. It would be head-to-head first. So this is the game.
Right.
Right. So it'd be 2-1. Whoever wins this one. It's 1-1 right now. So Biguá wins, they'll move on. Quimsa wins, they move on. The last game in Group C, whether or not Minas loses it, doesn't really matter. It comes down to this one here tonight.
Because, yeah, okay, so if Quimsa wins this one and Biguá wins against Minas, which is a tall order. Okay, I get it.
Indeed.
The points would be tied, but the head-to-head would be in Quimsa's favor. Am I understanding that correctly?
Correct. So Barbosi hits the 3 to end the quarter. And it is an 18-14 advantage for Biguá as we see the step back here. Barbosi got it off in time and drills it at the buzzer. And that's how we end the first 10 minutes of play. So we'll recap the permutations when we come back after this one in this win or go home matchup. In group play, Biguá up 4 after 10.
Visite o site oficial da Basquetebol Champions League Américas. Siga tudo o que acontece no campeonato pelo Twitter, Facebook, Instagram e YouTube oficial do torneio @BCL Américas.
Start of the second quarter here in this win or go home game between Quimsa and Biguá in Group C. Playing for the final spot in the final 8. 7 teams already qualified. The winner here will be the 8th and final team to move on to the final 8, which is a best of 3 competition. Biguá in the blue uniforms, Quimsa in the white. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. Andrew, when you played in a winner-go-home scenario here, like we have here tonight, and coached in one, what was some of the main points that you tried to get across to your team or tried to impact the game doing when you were actually on the floor?
It's so difficult to get it out of your head. You know, you hear everybody in every sport talks about just the next game. What's the next game? It's another game. Doesn't matter if it's the first game of the season, winner go home, championship. You hope to just kind of play even keel. You usually play at your best when you're kind of in the flow. That's the most difficult thing. And I don't know if I was good enough at a coach or player standpoint to to impact that. I always felt like I could get into the game once I played a little bit. I always feel like the greatest players, they can start the game in a mindset of, hey, you know, just another game. I'm already in the flow. So that's the most important thing to me. The nerves. The mental.
Right now, it doesn't seem like there's any nerves for Quimsa to start this second quarter as they're on a 5-0 run and have regained the lead. One-legged jump shot that's well short. And Quimsa looking to push. Arnold with a miss. And then the putback is up and in. So a 7-0 run to start the second quarter. And Quimsa coming out on fire, leading to a timeout here early in period number 2. As the hustle plays now starting to mount up for Quimsa. And Biguá want to talk. We'll take the quick timeout with them. quick 7-0 run to start this second quarter, leading to a Biguá timeout. And Quimsa definitely raising their level here to start it. You see the game leaders for Biguá, despite leading the way with 6 points. Not on the floor at the moment. Marvosi.
Yeah, it was good to see some life here from Quimsa in the second quarter. I was getting a little worried that this game was going to had a chance of slipping away from them. So now they made that nice run, forcing the other team to make a timeout.
Marvosi slipping on the logo, and he traveled.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes those logos, and not on this floor, but in some of the other gyms, they'll have a sponsor or somebody, and they'll have some kind of a sticker or a covering. You see that looks like a covering to me. That doesn't look like painted onto the floor surface. And man, those things can get slick when you're really planting and trying to go.
Saw it cause a turnover there for Biguá on the last possession. Something to be aware of, though, as you play. You got to play the gym, too. It's really 3 opponents. It's the gym, and sometimes the officials, and then the floor. And, of course, the opposing team.
Yeah, you can. I always tried my best. Speaking of, win or go home, doesn't matter really. Just any game that's not in my home gym, which is another reason. The crowd is what I think your casual fan probably associates with home court, home field advantage. The other thing is on a court, or if it applies to soccer, football, baseball, anything you're watching, I know all the little intricacies of the floor usually because, like is there a dead spot where I'm going to lose my dribble with it down low? I know that because it's my floor. That stuff I try to understand if I'm visiting before the game starts. Is there any places where I think the floor is slippery? What does the backboard look like up against the background for when I'm shooting? Try to get that stuff put together before the game starts. Then I can just focus on my opponent.
Steal on the inbound here for Quimsa. They're still on the run here. It's a 7-0 run to start this quarter. Biguá has not scored here in the second. That 3 bouncing in and out for Sam Simoni. Despite crossing over, dropping his defender. Kicks it to the corner. Sermonato's 3 off the mark. Christina right to the 10. Can't get the layup to fall with a fresh 14. And the rebound picked up there by Wasabi.
All this talk about preparation and everything makes me want to do a short PSA for any of our viewers that are players. We'll talk about that in a moment.
Espinoza will dribble across the court. Biguá has not scored yet in this period. Where's the offense come from for Biguá? Could be this man right here. Despite turning, spinning, draws 2, kicks, cross court. Sermonato for 3. That's off.
And I want you to pay attention the next offensive possession for Biguá. Look at how Quimsa is swarming them every time they get the ball. Now, that's going to be hard to maintain potentially because you got to get your running a lot. But it definitely looks to have made a difference so far in the second quarter. Got them in the lead.
Tello picks up the board here. Spite looking for early offense as he pushes the other way. So Renato had a notion and then lost possession of the basketball right in front of his bench.
And he was double teamed. There were 3 people guarding 2 folks on that side of the floor, and that was in transition.
Floater there by Vasilev. And the lead swells to 5. Spike finally putting an end to it. Caught the defense sleeping that time. Talk about how hard it is to maintain focus on the defensive end. We saw the lapse that time and quick two.
Yeah, I don't know if it was you that I had spoke with previously about that distance on a pro court when it comes to trying to recover. Like if you're in the paint and trying to get back out to the sideline there, man, the difference between that and a college university size floor, it's only a few feet, but it's like one whole extra step. And you start to notice you got to adjust your timing quickly.
No question. That time the help defender did not leave his man and led to an easy layup for Biguá, one that they needed. As they saw a lid on the rim to start this period. Very low scoring quarter so far. Spite will try for three. It's going to be an offensive foul as he stuck his leg out. He got away with that in the first quarter and earned a trip to the line for 3 free throws. This time was caught in the act.
Got to mix up your tricks.
Miller back on the floor for Quimsa. Romano down low. Was hammered, and he'll go to the line for 2. Screen across the lane to free up Romano. How hard is that to defend when you're big in that position?
Well, kind of depends on, I guess, your strategy is. A lot of teams we see here with the shot clock in effect, you're going to switch everything. Communication is a big part of that as well. So knowing how we play any kind of screen, you may do something different on a low screen as well, because out top, I may not really care switches on who because they're further away from the basket. Down low, if I've got a guard on a post, I may not. That's dangerous. That post is in his position to score, and they've got a shorter defender. So you may not switch everything in that case. Most people, I feel like, do that I've seen in this tournament. Because, again, you don't have to guard them for very long. You're probably into the shot clock pretty far. And sometimes you'll have a double team. You've always got the trusty foul if necessary.
Can't go wrong with the foul.
It's effective.
It's always my move of choice. Tello down the lane, and he gets fouled. Over the line.
Probably my best stat.
I may claim to that myself. More fouls than points, why not? Who said basketball is not a contact sport?
You know that it must be a good statistic how many you can get. There's no limit on how many points you can score. But they tell you can only get so many fouls. So that means I want all of them.
That's great logic. Taylor 1 of 2
like
from the line.
Ideally, I use my last foul with like 2 seconds left in the game. That means I played a full game.
Quarter 3 on the way. It's way off. Lands in the hands of Tello. Look at the big man push the rock. Almost turned it over. He did. With 3:23 remaining in this second period, and so far a very sloppy second period. As Biguá just picked up their 8th turnover of the first half. It'll be Miller. Inside, Romano. Kicks right back out to Miller. That ball was touched, so Miller was allowed to go back in the backcourt and pick it up. Straight on 3. It falls for him. In a quarter that hasn't seen a lot of offense, that was a big-time shot for Miller. Tello goes behind the back. Kicks. 3 on the way. Splashed in. Quimsa. Espinosa with a silly foul there as he was bumping right at the timeline, and that's going to put Biguá in the bonus. Espinosa will hit the bench here. And Rossi will check in for Biguá. So at the line is Juan Brusino, averaging 4.3 points per contest here in group play. Leads the team with 5 assists per game, but hasn't found the stroke from 3. Coming into this game, just shooting 14% from deep. And I waited to make until he made both free throws, but he's shooting perfect from the foul line so far. White kicks it inside. Tello fires a pass out. The 3 on the way is off the mark. Rossi got the fresh possession for Biguá. White wants some space to work. Working on Zezular. Dream shake got Zezular in the air. And he's going to earn a trip to the line. Course of a year, calendar year, maybe even more than that at this point. What excites you about this young man?
Well, I believe he was one of the leading scorers in last year's tournament. He's definitely been capable of, kind of putting the team on his back. There was a game where they were down. They didn't pull it out, but he started scoring quite a bit at the last part of the game. So he's a capable scorer for sure, can handle the ball. He's going to be disappointed when he has, a ton of turnovers. Tonight, only 1 so far. So if he's 1 or 2 turnovers as a guy that handles the ball a lot, that's a pretty good statistic. Obviously, the more points you score, the more that offsets too.
Yeah, has had a ton of experience, international experience that is. He's played in Argentina, Spain, Finland, France, Mexico, Montenegro, Poland, Turkey, and of course the United States. Grew up in Burbank, California. Went to Northern Colorado University. Now plying his trade in Uruguay with Biguá. Miller's second free throw does not fall. 4-point lead for Quimsa. Spite wants it back. Now he'll tee up a corner 3. Can't get the kind roll. And Miller with a strong rebound inside. Prince Ali back on the floor, finding a cutting Zezular, who pounds it home. Revving up that engine and going to the penthouse to throw it down. And that's going to lead to a timeout. 32-26. Give it to us one more time. Biguá timeout. We'll take the break too.
Estamos 2 días para hacer un gol nosotros, no nos pasamos la pelota, nos pegan y vamos allá y le hacemos fácil. Vamos a poner la pelota abajo a Juan. Hace uno, Nicolás. Salí acá al lado de Juan. Se la damos posteado de una. Dre, esquina. Vini, arriba. Mono, te vas acá. Lo dejamos Vini acá. ¿Ok? 1 por 1. Si ayuda Romano, sí. O cortás y te movés atrás. Pero muchachos, por favor, vuelvan atrás. Machapén cualquiera, no importa.
Zezular skying for the dunk there, leading to the timeout. And Biguá coming out of the timeout. A quick foul is called. And that will send, looks like it's on Prince Ali, so that will send Catalef to the line for 2 free throws. Lead is 4 now for Quimsa. Under a minute to play in the first half. Gonzalez's been quiet here. Did 2 jump shots early in the first quarter. Hasn't taken a shot here in the second. Zezular turns the corner, takes the bump. Tough shot, and there's Ali with a bucket. 2-for-1 opportunity here for Biguá if they want it. Tello inside. Floor is cleared on his side for him to go to work. Miller comes up with the block. Tapped back out. Shot clock doesn't reset. Catalef for 3. He left it short, and Miller has it. And the shot clock will be unplugged here on the final possession, potentially in the half. Orsino says, slow it down. Miller down the lane, feeds it. Zezular, nice patience inside and kisses it home. And that's how we'll end the first 20 minutes of play. Here's the finish by Zezular.
Quality. I felt like I should have done it in slow-mo last time, so I tried it there. I don't know if I like the slow-mo, but still. Great finish by Quimsa.
Whether it's in normal speed or slow motion, Zezular puts in 2 none the same, and it is a halftime score of 36-28 for Quimsa as they are halfway home and halfway through to the final 8. Biguá still standing in their way. Take the break here at half and be back with second half action in this do or die game.
Vocês sabiam que este ano o Minas comemora 90 anos? O clube lançou um jingle incrível na voz do cantor Rogério Flosino. Vamos escutar agora no telão.
Paz e saúde pro corpo e pra mente. Peito aberto, sempre em frente, um porto seguro. Muito além do horizonte, enxerga o futuro. No coração, uma certeza, não estamos sós. Todos juntos, em uma só voz. Minas, o futuro gritando pela frente. Minas, é amor que se sente.
Minas, 90 anos de histórias e um futuro tanto pela frente.
Moments away from the start of the second half here in Brazil, home of Minas, their home floor. A 36-28 lead for Quimsa over Biguá in a big-time game. Winner moves on to the final 8 in the knockout stage. Minas sits at the top of this group in Group C action, 5-0, undefeated. Quimsa 1-4, Biguá 1-3, but the winner will have 2 wins here over their opponent, and that is the tiebreaker, and that leads them to be able to have bragging rights and move on to the final 8 stage. And they're the 8th and final team to qualify for that final 8 spot. Pisces did so already. Flamingo, Boca Junior also punching their ticket. Real Esteli out of Group A topping it. They're in the final 8. Minas, as we mentioned, leaders of this group going through. And Instituto from Group D and Franca, one of the best teams in the competition so far, also moving on. Quimsa and Biguá, off we go in the second half. Winner punches their ticket. It's the final 8. And a quick whistle to start this third quarter. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Carlin Gay alongside Andrew Hunt. And Andrew, what stuck out for you in that first half for Quimsa to take this lead with the way they played in that second quarter?
Well, yeah, we talked about to start this second quarter, I was a little worried because they were down. They started really swarming on defense and were able to keep that up, creating opportunities on the other end. I'm going to have to get into some stats here. We'll kind of do some comparison, but that was the key takeaway for me is defense led the offense for Quimsa, and now they have a chance to punch their ticket.
Yeah, and it was a plus 12 quarter for Quimsa. And a travel called on Romano as he was trying to pivot at the nail. On the other hand, Biguá really went dry offensively, and I'm sure you're going to touch on that now.
Well, the key that I always start with turnovers. 7 turnovers for Biguá in the first half, only 3 for Quimsa. So that's those opportunities I talk about. And some of those that I mentioned were those fast break opportunities on a live ball turnover. Look at Quimsa still just swarming the ball every time somebody gets it.
Spike puts in the 2.
Yeah, other than that, shooting surprisingly similar. 11 for 31 from Quimsa and 10 for 32 for Biguá. The key difference being, well, not even that big of a disparity in free throws. 3-point percentage also the same, exact same shots taken and shots made. So I think that difference in turnovers is what I would accredit the difference here.
Lee gets fouled right here on this drive by Catalan. So he'll toe the line for 2 free throws. And you've now seen Prince Lee in a couple of games, or I should say game and a half. What stands out to you about his work?
Well, yeah, I mentioned that he would be needed in order for them to, well, I don't know if he's needed in order for them to have success, but definitely makes things a lot easier on them if he can score. And while he doesn't have a ton of points, he's being pretty efficient. We'll see if that can translate into, I'd love to see him score maybe 10 in the second half.
Zezular comes away with the steal. He had a good close to the first half. Tried the Euro, couldn't get it to convert. Rosino moves this side. Prince Ali. Turns it over. And Pinoza got in the air, found an open teammate, and then it's cleaned up there by Juan Tello. So a much better start to this third quarter for Biguá. And they're hanging around.
Yeah, you can see they're more energized than they were in the second quarter there.
They should be. They know what's at stake. Romano's 3 off the mark. Tello pulls down the board. Tello asking for it. And then lost control of the ball. 3-on-1 opportunity here for Quimsa. And an easy lay there for Rosino.
Yeah, going back to the last half-court possession by Quimsa where they came up empty, but it's important for them when they're going to play such a demanding pace on defense. When they get the ball in the half court, they want to take their time. That's your chance to rest.
Spike missed the fadeaway jump shot on one end and then decides to foul Ali on the trail. So here's a layup by Brusino. We talked about the turnovers. That's the result of it here.
Yeah, high efficiency baskets off turnovers are, you're a better chance to have high efficiency baskets off of a turnover than you are in the half court.
Quick trigger 3 off the mark, and Romano vacuums it in. Tello read that pass. Spike now has it. And instead of taking the 3, it's time to drive and finish inside for Catala. Prince Ali using the Miller screen. Ali pulls in and out. Quick push the other way. Catala again driving. Leaves it for Tello. Biguá starting to put some buckets together and gaining some momentum, and that's going to lead to a Quimsa timeout. 6:13 remaining in the third. Look out, here come Biguá.
Visite o site oficial da Basquetebol Champions League América.
Third quarter, a 3-point advantage for Quimsa. Got a good one going on.
Vamos, un cuerno helado. Un cuerno helado. Vamos. Dale, dale, vamos.
So a 3-point game just like that, as Biguá is starting to show some life here in the third period. Showing some signs. Quimsa calling the quick timeout with Coach Ramela, and you see him there, hands on his hips, hoping that his offense could come back to life the way it did in the second. Winner of this game moves on to the Final 8. The Final 8 is a best of 3, so they'll be guaranteed at least one home game. Generally, the lower seed team will start at home, and then 2 games in the gym of the higher seeded team, if that second one is needed, as the drive there by Zezular pays off. You mentioned off the top, Andrew, that you love this player, and I'm seeing why. Jump shot off the mark there by Tello. And a lackadaisical dribble there by Ali as he's pickpocketed. Tello sneaks a pass inside, then somehow gets it back. And count it, and the foul. Juan Tello, lucky. Johnny on the spot there, and he will go to the line for one more. Two-point game. As Biguá has battled back here. First quarter was back and forth. We saw 7 lead changes in the first. And then Quimsa has held the lead ever since the second quarter, when they went on a 7-0 run to start that period.
Well, we see how the game's closer now. Quimsa, they've already matched their turnover total from the first half here in 5 minutes. So that's which at least at halftime, that was about the only thing differentiating the two teams, aside from maybe free throws. I believe.
Ali almost gave it away again. Rosino, deep 3, had to take it with the shot clock winding down, and Tello's going to pull down the rebound. And Biguá with a chance to tie or take the lead on a 3. It's Tello. Way off. It's a jump shot that he should make, as wide open as he was, especially with the swarming D that you mentioned Quimsa has shown us throughout this afternoon.
Yeah, sometimes that can work the other way. You're so used to somebody being on you that if you catch an open look, you kind of hesitate and, you don't have success.
No hesitation that time for Miller as he splashed home. A foul line jumper. Spite, he'll take a three and make a three.
That's
Andre Spite starting to percolate here in the third.
That's a pro shot.
Spite
maybe Division I level shot.
It's indeed. Prince Ali thought about it. Kicks to the corner. Brasino will take the three. Off the mark. Offensive rebound, Miller. Romano on the wing. Romano up and under. Nice finish. And Romano now asking to be checked out of the game at the next whistle. So Renato for three, in and out. Almost tied it up for Biguá. Ali driving, scoop. You'll have to earn him at the line. That last three by Spike gave him double digits, and there's the Romano reverse. A lot of English on that backboard. Prince Ali toes the line. In his first game in group play against Minas, gave Quimsa 21 minutes, 16 points, and shot 50% from the field. Was 0 for 3 from 3, but did get to the line 4 times in that contest. Pulled down 3 boards and an efficiency rating of 14. So very effective in his minutes on the floor. Of course, wasn't good enough to beat a very talented team in Minas.
Yeah, Minas new to the tournament, or at least new from last year. Not sure about their history in the last, 5 to 10 years. But I look forward to seeing them play in the quarterfinals. I definitely think they could advance and potentially even, I think I'd call it an upset if they were to beat Flamengo or Franca in the semis, which is where I think that's where they would most likely meet.
Well, if you're hedging your bets and you said, I'm going to pick a team from Brazil to win this tournament, you might not be wrong at the end of this. Brazil has really been dominant so far, at least through the group stage, and we'll find out if teams from the other nations here in the Americas can pose a threat.
Yeah, I wonder too. The Brazil with 3 teams, they're massive compared to the other, just in terms of population and land size. I know that basic geography fact compared to the other. I don't know population-wise how much bigger, you know what I mean? But yeah, they got a lot of people, so a lot more teams to be able to support.
No question. And you're certainly bigger than Uruguay, who Biguá represents. Technical foul called here. Sends Quimsa to the line for a free throw as Perez puts it down. Quimsa, of course, from Argentina. Quimsa, one of the most successful teams here in the Basketball Champions League. In its current form, the BCLA, which started back in 2019. Quimsa were champions that edition. They followed up by missing it in 2021. Of course, didn't have it fully because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But then since then, they've finished at least in the top 4. And of course, winning it last year, defeating Flamengo in the final. Very flat free throw there. Missed on the first attempt. Mascherani makes the second.
Yeah, now with that being said, Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Well, I was going back to the different nationalities that are represented in the tournament. So, for example, if Quimsa were to lose today and they're out of the tournament, I wonder if their fans, do they vote or do they cheer for Boca Juniors, who also an Argentinian team, you know, or is it one of those things like the only thing I would be able to compare it to is if the Cubs lose, I don't think they root for the White Sox in Chicago.
Right.
So I don't know, but that's city, different leagues. I don't know. It's quite different.
I would think that in your national league, if the national league champion, especially a team like Quimsa who won last year, if they were going to go back to back, a team like Boca would not want them to have those bragging rights over them at this tough competition. That's a great drive and finish. And it's going to lead to a timeout as Perez putting a cap on another scoring run for Quimsa as Biguá want to talk it over to try and close this third quarter strong. 8-point lead for Quimsa. We'll be back after this.
Cabeza, Re, with the ball. Línea y cortina, cabeza. Salimos abajo, mono. A la defensa, muchachos. La defensa.
So out of the timeout, Biguá down 50-42. See how they react. Always want to close quarters strong. Try to carry that momentum over to the next frame. Despite almost turned it over. Barbosi, nice pass and a nice finish. Getting right to the rim there was Pejovic. They'll get a foul away from the basketball, and if it is on Biguá, be some free throws. Here's the Pejovic finish. First free throw cashed in by Wasabi. So minute 14 remaining in this period. Quimsa up 51-44. Winner of this game will move on to the final 8. There is one game remaining in the group stage here in Group C. That will happen tomorrow night as hosts Minas here in this gym takes on Biguá, but that game won't matter, won't have any impact on the standings here in this group. Perez is 3 off the mark. 2-for-1 opportunity here despite hurries. Despite crossing over. The one-legged jump shot not there. And how about Pejovic skying for the offensive rebound and puts it back up and in, and it's back to a 3-point advantage.
He got that ball over four Quimsa defenders.
You just gotta want it more in those opportunities.
Yeah, coach is probably going to say something a little different to those Quimsa defenders.
Not safe for TV, that is.
Possibly.
Perez for 3. Can't hit. And Biguá will have the ball with the shot clock unplugged. And a chance to tie with a 3. Quimsa had a foul to give, so they give it. And it's a travel.
Oh, yeah.
Dribbled on the pickup, and then used the fake and thought he still had the dribble. Yeah.
He's thinking, man, he really went for that.
Thought he got it off, but the whistles blow. So 3.1 seconds, which is plenty of time right now to get a good look. See if Perez can get one off. The floater from 3, way off the top of the shot clock. And that's how we'll end the first 30 minutes of play. A tight one here for the final spot in the final 8. Quimsa leads 51-48 over Biguá.
Para as últimas notícias, estatísticas e melhores momentos da partida, visite o site oficial da Basquetebol Champions League Américas. Siga tudo o que acontece no campeonato pelo Twitter, Facebook.
So 3-point advantage for Quimsa as we head to the final frame of this all-important match. The win gives Quimsa the spot in the final 8. Biguá can complete the comeback here. They'll steal that spot. Catalanta will inbound. And it'll be Biguá basketball going from left to right on your screen. And they turn it over on the inbound. So 3 seconds in, a big-time mistake for Biguá. And Andrew, you talked about being able to keep control of the basketball. That's not the way you want to start the quarter.
Right, and that's important for both teams now because this is a one score game. One basket separates the two teams. So possessions mean even more now with such a limited amount left to play.
Lopez pulled the rebound down for Biguá. This is his first touch of the rock. He's getting his first minutes in this one. 3 on the way, that's off. Strong rebound, vacuumed in by Masserani. Foul on the perimeter, that's not going to count. Sansimoni was trying to drive through the hoop. He got hit. It's the first team foul here for Biguá. So Lopez picking up the foul. Bit up fake, a drive. And that too cashed in there by Vassarani. That straight line jump shot. Three on the way. Barvosi can't hit. The offense starting to dry up now for Biguá at the worst possible time. Inside they go. Perez, this side. It's Lewis. Arnold Lewis, good up fake, the footwork, counted and the foul.
Wow. Did he, I guess he kept his feet. I thought his right foot moved. Let's see if we get the replay on this. Yeah, I get, man, look at the bend in that knee to keep that foot down.
Taking the hit and then finishing with the contact. I, like you, thought at first glance that was a walk, but for him to be able to keep that pivot down while being hit and finishing, that is an incredible bucket and one that really might be the difference here in this game. Couldn't complete the three-point play. Tello back on the floor now for Biguá. As is Serminato. This is Tello crossing over. Tello in the lane, falling away. Tough shot, can't get it to go. Arnold Lewis vacuums in the rebound. Good high-low. Counted in the foul. Wasabi with the finish inside. In this now, the largest lead of the game for Quimsa. It's a 7-0 run once again to start the quarter for Quimsa. Spite for three. Boy, did Biguá need that. He wanted an and one there. Winner moves on to the final 8. Loser's campaign is done. Shot falling in and out. Spite comes to the basketball. If you want someone with the ball, if you're a Biguá fan, it's Andre Spite. 20 points and counting for him. He was fouled that time by Perez. Spite once again on the rock. Kicks to the corner. Three on the way. Indeed. Catala drills the corner three, and just like that, Biguá chip away at this lead. It was at its largest at 10, now down to 4.
Yeah, they're doing all right now, but they're going to want to get this thing down to 0 or even get themselves up by a point or two. I'd say by the 5-minute mark, we'll go 4 minutes. They got 3 minutes to really close this gap. They don't want to just keep trading baskets. That's not a good position to be in.
Tello counted in the foul.
That's going to help.
An 8-0 run for Biguá. What a response. So after a 7-0 start for Quimsa to begin this quarter, Biguá has rolled off 8 straight points. A chance for 9 with Juan Tello at the line. Great finish inside. Even hesitated. He was kind of wide open initially.
Yeah, Romano and Miller checking back in for Quimsa now too. So they were probably getting as much rest as they could. I expect they're likely going to be in the game till the final buzzer at this point.
That'll be Miller, top of the key. The drive, good block there by Tello. Shot clock doesn't reset. 3 on the way, off the mark. And Biguá could take the lead here with a bucket. Spike wants it. Tello trying to seal. The angle wasn't there for the pass. Now Tello comes to the basketball as a mismatch. Falling away over Miller.
Nice.
Biguá in front.
And that was a shot he missed earlier in the game.
Yeah. But he hit it that time when it counted. It's the 8th lead change here tonight. And Biguá finally able to regain this lead. Haven't had it since the first quarter. Miller missing the bunny inside. 5:30 remaining in this game. Winner moves on to the final 8. Losers tournament is over. Tello a little too quick on the trigger there. Sansimoni. Romano. He mentioned he just checked back into the game for offensive purposes. Here he is on the pull and drills it. 5-minute mark, and it is a close game. 1 point, the difference between these two teams. Both of them trying to move on to the final 8. They need a win here tonight. Tello for 3, off the mark, and a strong rebound inside Romano. Sansimoni. Sansimoni will tee up a 3. Indeed, a big shot.
Good patience there. No need to rush anything for either team.
You credit Sansimoni for lifting from that corner to give him some space to create an angle for that pass. Fouls called. It's going to be the 3rd team foul. So both these teams now with 3 fouls apiece. Here's the look.
Yeah, I think that double team was too extreme.
I tried to dig down, and at this level, if you're staring at a double team, it's very easy to beat it. So Renato for 3, and he rattles it home. How about the shooting in the last couple of minutes here on both teams?
Yeah, and that last play there, the kick out when Quimsa scored before our very last bucket by Biguá, I think what you want to do there is, if you're watching the guy on the block, so we see a shot there by Romano, you're going to want to do what we call you stunt. So you're going to stay on your guy about an arm length away, maybe 2 arm lengths, so you can still get to the person on the block if they dribble, and then you would just want to jump to them to make them pick up the dribble, not full out double team.
Spite just nails a 3 from the wing and gives Biguá once again a 2-point advantage. Haymakers going back and forth in this one as Spite stare down 3. Has a little bounce to his step as he heads to his huddle. Timeout on the floor. Quimsa looking to hold off Biguá here in the 4th quarter. So under the timeout, it's Quimsa basketball. They see themselves down 2 with 3:20 remaining in the game and almost turned it over. Zezular is able to catch back up to that basketball. Now Lee turns the corner, down the lane. Miller counted, and the foul.
Big time.
Tello out of position there, reaching down. Miller right through that arm foul, and now an opportunity to take the lead once again. Drills the free throw. .305 remaining in the game. Winner moves on to the final 8. Losers tournament is done. Tello, high dribble, working on Miller. Now settling down, up fake. Rejected by Miller. And saved by Brusino.
Just defensive tenacity for Miller, sticking with that one.
Yeah, indeed. Now Miller trying to work the offense. A 3 on the way, off the mark. And a foul is going to be called, and that will put Quimsa at 4 fouls here with 3:31 remaining. So no fouls to give either way, as Espinosa took the worst of that one. Got a shot to the face there. Andre Spite, will he be aggressive here, knowing that Quimsa just gave away their last foul of this quarter? Catala fires it right back to Spite. Spite says no screen, I want to go to work. Crossing over on Zezular. Spite in his bag, step back 3 on the way. No good. Rebound Romano.
You give Spite a couple more chances to dribble like that and to try to make something happen, he will make that shot.
Chris Ali at the nail. That's a brick. But we know the offense is going to come from Spite, or at least be initiated by Spite for Biguá. The question is, where does that come from for Quimsa? We'll find out the next trip down. Seminato for 3. Indeed, a big shot with 1:39 to play. Two-point advantage for Biguá. Rusino, heel T for 3. Count it. Espinosa down the lane, was hammered, and he'll go to the line for 2. Back and forth we go. 1:12 remaining in this one, and a 1-point advantage for Quimsa. As you take a look at the Sermonato 3, and then Brusino responds on the other end. Got every part of the rim there. By the way, that foul on Quimsa, their last. They're now in the penalty. Espinosa toes the line and misses the first free throw.
So it's coming down to the wire, partner.
Yeah, coming into this game, Espinosa was perfect from the foul line. A perfect 14 of 14. That was his first miss in group play.
And they can't blame that on you now.
Absolutely
not.
That
miss, I mean.
Tie game. 1:10 remaining in the 4th. Marcino pushing his teammates away, looking for space. It's Miller. Prince Ali. Shot clock ticking down now. Brusino's going to have to go to work quickly. Deep 3, Brusino. In and out. Last touch, they say, by Biguá, and they're going to get a review. As to me, from the naked eye, it looked like Zezular was the man that might have gotten a fingertip to it. This would be a good challenge here for Biguá, but they might not need to use it. The referees come together here. And they're going to review it. Neither of them had a real good angle to make the overrule call. So we'll get a slowed down look at a huge possession in the tie game, with the winner moving on to the final 8. There's very few possessions left in this regulation period. It's going to be tough to see from that angle. Baseline view is probably going to be the best. But there, to me, it looks like Zezular touched it, double touched it. What do you think, Andrew?
I think that's the defender's hand coming through, but I think Zezular is the last person to touch. Of Zezular. There, I think he touches it. I'm not so sure Zezular's left hand is touching it there now. If that's the only angle they've got, they may not be able to change the call either.
And the review says we're going the other way. So a big call and a big review goes Biguá's way. Let's see what they do with it. By the way, on the review now, the shot clock does go back to full because it is a turnover. So Biguá will start with 24 seconds on the shot clock. If it stayed here, it would have been just 14 on the clock for Quimsa, meaning potentially more possessions in this basketball game. Wasabi into the game for Quimsa. Prince Ali checks out. Defense for offense here. Spite has Zezular on him, looking to dance. Pass too low, and he turns it over. Rosino now has it. And they're going to play through this. Biguá has no fouls to give. Rosino turns the corner, crossing over. Rosino draws three off the top of the window and puts it down to give Quimsa a 2-point lead with 13.7 remaining in the game.
Unbelievable. He scooped that from down at knee level. Let's watch this. I guess his hand was over his head. Man, high off the window.
What a spectacular finish by Juan Rosino. And is that the shot that sends Quimsa to the final 8? Timeout on the floor. Biguá will chat. And we'll be back with more. And maybe the final possession of the tournament for Biguá. Back we are here in the home of Minas, undefeated Minas in this tournament. It is Group C action. Minas already going through. They're 5-0. They know that they're the top seed in this group. Quimsa and Biguá battling for that second spot and the 8th and final spot here in Basketball Champions League of Americas. Quimsa with the lead. They'll defend. 13.7 remaining. Got to get the ball in, and they just do. And almost turn it over. They do turn it over. Biguá must foul now. And Rosino is fouled with 7.6 seconds remaining in the game. Wow. Terrible time for the 14th turnover of the game for Biguá. Now all eyes on Juan Rosino, who coming into this game, I'll say it, partner, perfect from the line. Stays perfect as he knocks down the first. Rosino had that layup, that touch to heavens, and then fell through the hoop to give Quimsa the 2-point advantage. And now this free throw gives them a 4-point lead.
Yeah, that's that should be the win, because now the other team, they'll bring the ball up to midcourt, and you just don't foul here, and you win the game.
We've seen crazier things happen. 7.6 seconds remaining on the clock. Timeout for Biguá. The last of the night for them. Let's see what they draw up coming off this commercial break.
I think
A 4-point lead for Quimsa. Andre Spite has carried Biguá with 23 big points. Is that where you go in this one?
Yeah, Spite's got to be your number one option, I think. Sermonado is another guy that we saw there on the team leaders. Tello is a guy, I don't know, he hasn't really made me super confident his three-point shooting, but he's shooting them like, that's something he does. So he's probably another option. I guess he's only shot one. I thought he'd try 2 or 3 of those. There you got
Spike
Spite
for 3. Off the mark. Rebound inside. Sermonado able to get it over the front of the rim. 2-point game. The foul is given there. And barely any time coming off the clock. It's at 1.7. I think the officials will look at the clock here.
Yeah, that was the other thing I was going to mention. You've got to collect the rebound. Not too bad for Quimsa, because Biguá, Sermonado gets that rebound and throws it back in. So 2 points, not bad. Now your focus becomes getting the ball in, which they did, and now you get fouled. And if you make 2 more free throws, you're in the same position you just were, but with less time. Now there's only 1 shot left in the game, 1 attempt. If I make the first one, I might even consider missing the second one. We've had this discussion, myself and Craig. Yeah, because that's not a lot of time to get up the floor. So you're not taking the ball out. So you have to secure the rebound. So again, the scenario is if you make the first free throw, it's now 74-71. You're up 3. The other team has 2.1 seconds. If you miss, they have to collect the rebound. Keep in mind, if you just tip the rebound up, that might waste 1 second. If you tip it up and out of bounds, and you waste 1 second, they have 1 second to go the length of the floor and shoot the 3. If they grab the rebound, they've got to go up. I don't know what the timeout situation is either, though. We may have timeouts, but you don't have that much time. I guess, if you make the first one, you're in a good position. I would just go ahead and make them both. I'm up 4. Same thing I just mentioned when we had 7 seconds. They can't win if you don't foul. There we go.
Racino makes the first. And I agree with you. I would make both and have them have to make a 3 and then continue to hope that there's enough time to try and get into the game.
Always with some of my weird strategies, I've always said too, I would just have all my players stand at half court, set with their hands down, and just saying, hey, there's no way we can foul you.
Tello's 3 off the mark, and that's how we end this one. Quimsa had a huge lead. They led by as many as 10 points. But 13 lead changes in this one. The final one ending in the favor of Quimsa. They walk away with a 4-point victory and a trip to the Final 8 in the BCLA. Well, a valiant effort for Biguá in this game here, but just too little too late in the end. And Quimsa celebrating their trip to the Final 8 here, as they're the final team that will move on to the best of 3 first-round series. Flamingo Boca Junior from Group B, Real Esteli and Paisas from Group A, Minas, and now Quimsa from Group C, and Franca and Institutio from Group D round out your final 8 competitors in 2025. As Quimsa takes their picture on the floor. Final score in this one, 75-71. Quimsa with the victory, and they'll head to the final 8. For our fantastic crew and the great Andrew Hunt, I'm Carlin Gay, saying so long here from Brazil as Quimsa celebrate their trip to the final 8. Good night, everyone.